Social media is a huge part of our lives, whether we like it or not, and for most of us it does come with some challenges. So in today's video we're going to talk about digital minimalism on social media and some of my top tips that you can use in your life to make it a bit easier. Hey guys, and a very warm welcome back to Simple Essentials. If you are new here, my name is Emmy, and in this channel we talk all about simplifying your life, whether that's through budgeting, meal planning, organizing your home. And today specifically we are going to talk about digital minimalism and specifically about social media minimalism. This is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart, and in future videos we're going to talk about other forms of digital decluttering. But today I wanted to start with a topic that's very near and dear to my heart, which is mental health and the awareness around mental health. Social media is a huge contributor, unfortunately, to anxiety and other things in the world around us. And I have noticed for myself that the pandemic has certainly not helped. My family lives on the other side of the world. They're over in Sweden. I'm here in Australia. And it's been a long time now since I've seen them. And seeing things on social media can sometimes, depending on my state of mood that day, can really bring things up for me and challenge me. So I think social media is very connected to mental health. And if you are in any way struggling with mental health, please reach out to. There are so many beautiful groups that focus on helping people. Here in Australia, we've got something called Lifeline. Please Google them if you are based in Australia and you haven't heard about them. They have chats. You can text message with them or you can call and chat to someone. And if you are in another country, I guarantee that there is an organization similar to Lifeline where you live that you can chat to totally anonymously for free to get support if you need it. So let's all be honest here that social media can be fantastic. It can be a great way to connect, get inspired. I personally love YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn to some extent. I'm not on any other social media platforms at the moment. But I do find that social media for me is a very fine line. Sometimes it can be really inspiring, especially here on YouTube. And sometimes I get total fear of missing out, and I'm seeing it's winter here in Australia at the moment. A lot of my family and friends are in Sweden. So I see all these beautiful summer photos and people swimming on my social feed. And I'm sitting here in the cold, rugged up in a warm sweater and with my winter boots. Now, I'm not a winter person, so maybe I take that on board a little bit more strongly than other people would. But my point is, social media can be really challenging. So I've got 3 key tips or areas that I would really recommend that you consider if you want to, I guess, organize your life a little bit and structure how you use social media a little bit better. So let's dive into the first one. So the very first tip I've got for you is to limit the amount of platforms that you're active on. So make sure that the ones you pick, in my case, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, make sure that the ones you do have in your life have a clear purpose. So for me, LinkedIn is really only used for professional connection. Instagram, because I love beautiful pictures, and on Instagram I probably follow more people that I don't know because it's beautiful photography or travel photos from the world, which really inspires me. On Facebook, I probably use it mostly as a group of friends. So the people that I have as friends or connections on Facebook are actually people that I know. I don't really follow a lot of other things on Facebook. And finally, YouTube, this beautiful community, gives me recipe inspiration, video inspiration. I learn new things all the time. So I'm very mindful that those are the ones that I like, and I don't really use other platforms. And even if, I'm sure TikTok is really fun, or Snapchat or things like that. You can use whatever you want. Just make really sure that you have some kind of limit to how many of those platforms you use, and ask yourself why you use them. If you have a few things on your phone as well, a lot of apps on your phone, it can be really good to just go through from time to time and delete some of the apps and just use them from a desktop for a little while and see if you miss it. I did that with Facebook last year because, to be honest, hand on heart, I was really struggling during the pandemic to not know when I could see my friends and family again. They are so far away from me, all the way over in Sweden. I'm here in Australia. And there were times when I sort of realized that being on Facebook, for example, didn't really help my state of mind at that point in time. So have a look at how many social media apps you actually have on your phone, which ones you use and which ones you genuinely enjoy. Next up is a really obvious one, but limit the amount of time you spend on social media. This is a tricky one for most of us. We tend to pick up the phone, or I tend to pick up the phone. One of the first things I do in the morning, I'll look through my feed, anything new or interesting that's happened. Sometimes I get triggered by something or something upsets me that I see, and sometimes it's just really nice and inspiring. And it depends a lot on the mood of the day, how good a sleep that I've had, and I don't know if you are similar in that way perhaps. But what I've noticed is I spend a lot of time on my phone. So what we have started doing some evenings in our home is both of us have a tendency to get on our phones after dinner and have something on the TV in the background and just mindlessly scroll through for a long time. And before you blink, it's been an hour and you just spin on your phone and not really connected. So we sometimes take our phones and put them away in a box in another part of the room so that we can't actually touch the phones for a little bit. And it's been surprisingly insightful. We've started playing more games, we've started talking a little bit more to each other and things like that. So the second tip is to really look and be very honest, hand on heart, how much time you spend on social media and if that time is helpful to you. If you're finding it important because you feel disconnected from family and friends and you find that you get that connection through social media, by all means do that. But if you're missing something or someone in particular, consider reaching out to them directly rather than just consuming an endless feed of advertising and posts. And finally, my third and final tip is to look at the connections or the friends or the accounts that you follow depending on the platform. So I go through probably every 6 months or so, I go through my Facebook, my Instagram, and a bunch of things like that. And I simply delete accounts that no longer inspire me, people or friendships that I'm no longer in touch with. For me, it's really important that my Facebook is actually a community of people that I actively engage with. So I don't have people on Facebook that I'm not actually friends with. Some people use Facebook to follow accounts and businesses and things like that. I personally probably do that more over on Instagram, but it's very up to you how you use it and what you want to use. But do consider a declutter of the amount of contacts that you have. It is not a competition to have as many as possible. I personally think from a simple essentials perspective that the most important thing is to have meaningful contacts. And the same goes for following different accounts. I went through a period in my life where van life and travel was really, really inspiring to me. I still watch a little bit of that, but I've moved on to follow slightly different accounts now, especially on YouTube, etc. And there's nothing wrong with taking a break or pausing something or even pausing a person. Sometimes we've all been through when someone in your life gets really into something, maybe they have a child or something happens in their life and all they post about is that. And if you're finding that fun and engaging and you're happy to see that, of course, keep that in your feed. But if you do need a little bit of a break because it's a little bit too much for you in that particular point in time, there are beautiful functions on Facebook and other things where you can unfollow or pause someone for a short while just so you can catch your breath and come back and reconnect with that person again, should you want to. The final thing I want to say, if stuff has come up for you during this video, if you are feeling a bit unhappy or bogged down, obviously do reach out to any mental health support that you need. There is nothing wrong with struggling a little bit at times, and I feel sometimes social media can really drag that out, or at least in my personal case, I do feel like social media can sometimes be really heavy and challenging. I did also do a mental declutter video a little while ago, which I'll link up here for you, and that's a really great quick exercise that I do quite frequently to just get out of my own head and get all my thoughts and potential worries and concerns down on paper. So I'll link that up here and as well in the description box if you want to check that out. In the next video, we're going to keep talking about digital minimalism, but a totally different area. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you want to see that video, and that should be coming out probably next week. All the best, and I look forward to see you then.